Human natures differ between people, especially between spouses or between men and women in general, and differences and quarrels arise as a result of the difference in personalities, and the model of men and women as a survey can contribute to solving this problem of difference. Thus, the two parties can understand each other, failures will decrease, differences will disappear, and both parties will enjoy a peaceful life due to solving this puzzle. Structure of the mind of men and women. Scientists from the United States said that the brain of men differs in its neural structure from the brain of women, as the neural connections between the two parts of the brain are more in women than in men, while the connections within each half of the brain are more in men, and the researchers explained in their study, published in the journal Proceedings of the American Academy of Sciences. They found that while there are many neural connections between the two parts of the brain in women, the connections within each half in men are greater than in women. The researchers suggested that this study explains the distinct biological characteristics of the brain in both women and men and the known differences between them, as the structure of the brain in men could be behind their distinctive ability to translate the information they have acquired into actions better than women do, while women are more capable of men relate to intuitive information. The value of knowing the difference between men and women. The American Academy of Neuroscience, the world's most specialized body in brain and neuroscience, came to answer the reasons for the difference in the logic of women's thinking and behavior from the logic of men's thinking and behavior, and stated in a statement broadcast at the conclusion of its 51st annual conference that, there is no doubt that there are differences between the male brain and the female brain, and recognizing these differences explains the difference in the way of thinking and behavior between men and women, and therefore realizing this difference helps in achieving better interaction between people of both sexes. The difference in the functions of a man's mind from that of a woman. Then the Academy's report adds, saying, the presence of these differences does not mean that one sex is better than the other. Rather, the loss would be great if some tried to take advantage of scientists' acknowledgement of these differences to claim the superiority of one sex over the other. Simon Cohen, a professor of psychology at the University of Cambridge, in his book, The Truth About the Male and Female Brains, Essential Differences, confirms this fact, saying that the female brain has been shaped and prepared in advance to engage and empathize, while the male brain has been shaped to perform analytical and regulatory functions. There is no doubt that denying these gender differences is considered one of the greatest attempts at deception in the history of science. The essence of the difference between the minds of men and women. In the book, Laugh Your Way Through Marriage, by the famous author Mark Ganger, he said something that confirms the reality of the difference between the minds of men and women. He exactly defined the essence of the difference, saying, men's brains contain boxes, and each box contains only one subject. When men focus on a topic, they open only one box and focus on that topic only, and they are often unable to perform another task or be occupied with another topic at the same time. As for women, their brain does not contain boxes, but rather it is like an electrical circuit in which all the wires are connected to each other, which means that their minds never stop moving and linking topics to each other. In defense of men, Mark Ganger defended the phenomenon of thinking about nothing that afflicts most men, which is that a man loves to think about nothing very much. He says, for a man, whenever he has the opportunity, he goes into this box of nothing, in which the man leaves the rudder of his mind in the kingdom of nothing, but you do not understand. Women are in this state of emptiness. Rather, they think it is neglect or betrayal, which leads to them feeling angry and crazy if they see a man in a state of nothingness. Thus, it becomes clear that there is a real difference between the minds of men and women, a physiological difference, a difference in functions, a difference in perception of matters, and even a difference in sexual interests on both sides. Knowing the essence of the difference is useful in knowing the strengths and weaknesses of each party, and then we reach a great degree of understanding and good dealing between the two parties.